Hi, I'm Steve Good. Welcome to my Scroll Saw Workshop. Every once in a while I get a product here in the shop that I'll be asked to review, and tonight that's the case. A few weeks ago I got an email from the people at Krylon, and they wanted to send me some Krylon wood stain, spray-on wood stain to review and pass on what I thought about it to the readers of my blog. And I got it in the mail a few days ago, and I've been waiting for a project that I thought this would be good to use on. I don't usually use stains because frankly I just like the natural look of wood enough that I don't use them a lot. But when I'm making a project in poplar or even sometimes in pine, I do like to stain it just to add a little bit of richness to the project. And tonight I happen to be working on a project that I think will work real good with this stain because I've cut it out of poplar, and it's just simply a little mini clock pattern for anniversaries, and you'll be able to download this pattern from my website at www.scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com. Okay, let's take a closer look. Here's a closer look at what we're going to be working with here tonight. Like I said, it's made by Krylon. It is a spray-on stain. It dries in 15 minutes or less, which is a really nice feature of it. It is semi-transparent, and you can increase or decrease the darkness of the stain, of course, by wiping it off after you spray it on, and I believe that's the way we'll use it here tonight. It does have a UV protection, and it's water repellent, so it would be great for using on outdoor wood crafts. I think that's great. Another feature out of it that I like right off the bat is the spray tip has a swivel on it to where you can get either a horizontal or a vertical pattern out of the spray tip, and that's a real advantage. Okay, I think that's most of what we want to do in the close-up here. Let's apply it to a project and see what we think about it. I have a project up on the blocks that I'm going to use to spray with. And let's talk about the pattern just one second before we get started. This is just going to be a simple happy anniversary pattern that'll have a mini clock inserted into it in the upper corner. You don't have to use the clock if you don't like. And the pattern book will include the first anniversary, the 5th, 10th, on up to the 50th. And then I'll also include a blank pattern to where you can put your own numbers on it and some stencils for the numbers. So here's my expectations of this stain. I think a spray-on stain might give us a little bit of trouble getting inside some of the small pieces we have here cut out. So that's one thing we're going to look at. The other thing, in a couple of tests I've done with this spray, it goes on pretty dark, darker than I like. So I am going to do 2 or 3 coats and wipe off the excess in between, and we'll see how that works out as far as being able to wipe out inside the letters and those types of things. Okay, with that, let's get started. The instructions on the can say to shake it for 1 to 2 minutes, and I've always found that you really want to shake any kind of spray product up pretty good. So I have shaken it up here at least a good 2 minutes here before I started. I have the nozzle set to a vertical spray pattern, and it talks about 8 inches away and using a sweeping stroke to apply the stain. So that's what we're going to do. Let's put on the first coat. On this first coat, I'm not going to try to fill in the insides of the letters too much. I think we're going to have to lay it down on its back to do that. I'm just going to try to get on one good even coat on all sides, and then we'll go from there. And it's actually filling in inside the letters already pretty well. I'm getting a little heavier coat on than I really intended to on the first time through, but we'll see how it goes here. I'm going to give this about probably 2 or 3 minutes to dry. I'm going to wipe off the excess, and then we'll come back and do another coat. I gave the spray stain about 2 to 3 minutes to dry. Then I took a lint-free cloth and went ahead and wiped off all the excess, And here's what it looks like after a first coat. And here's a piece of the poplar just so you can get a contrast between what it looks like now and before. So I'm going to repeat that process 2 more times. I'm going to let this dry for about 15 minutes. I'm going to put on another coat, wipe it off, and then on the 3rd coat I'll let it dry and apply a little bit of acrylic finish to it, and we'll come back and see how it worked out for us. I will say this, after just the first coat, the spray did an excellent job of getting inside where the letters are cut out in this pattern. I really thought that was going to be a problem, but I don't think it will. On this next coat, I'm going to lay it down flat and try to get a little different angle on the letters, and I believe that's going to fill them in just fine. Here goes my 2nd coat. Again, I've got this piece laid down on its back, and this time I'm going to give it a little bit heavier spray, and this will give me a chance to get the bottom of the base also, and I'm going to try to fill in the inside of those letters a little better as I spray. Now again, I'm trying to use short, long strokes on the spray. I have decided that putting a heavier coat on and then wiping it off gives me a little bit more of the result I was looking for. So that's what I'm doing. There's our 2nd coat. 2 or 3 minutes. We'll wipe that off, and then we'll come back for the 3rd coat. I'm going to put on the final coat now. I think I'm going to let this set just a little bit longer this time, a little more of the stain soak in, and then I'll wipe it off and come back with the final project. I finished with the 3 coats of the Krylon spray stain. I finished that off with 2 coats of a clear lacquer, and this is the finished project. This is a piece of the poplar that we started with, and this is a nice rich brown color that we ended up with, so I'm pretty pleased with it. I will say this, the Krylon spray stain goes on very even, just like they say it does. It wipes off easily. It seemed to definitely fill in the letters in this project, which was one of my biggest concerns when we started. This would have been a hard project to stain with stain and a rag, so I think for these small projects, and especially woodcraft project for outdoors, this would be an excellent choice. It does come in 4 different shades. It comes in the rustic brown, which we used tonight. It comes in cedar, redwood, and honey gold. I think this is definitely a project that I'll keep around the shop. I don't use stain a lot, but when I do, I like the idea of having a spray container to do that in. It's a lot of trouble to set up the spray gun with stain when you want to do a project, so small projects using this little spray bottle seems like a pretty good idea to me. Okay, I hope you like this review. I would give this probably an 8 out of 10 for scroll saw work. I would give it a 10 out of 10 for finishing exterior type projects like maybe chairs, wooden chairs and benches and things like that. The only reservation I have about it with scroll saw work is that it does take a little longer to apply than just the dipping technique I usually use. But if you're using poplar or pine and you do want to give a nice rich color to your wood, I would say this would be an excellent choice. Okay, hope you like this review, and I'll see you next time here at the Scroll Saw Workshop.